Dusty Bogan here. Well, Jordan Peterson, he's been doing his tour of Australia, and dude's a legend. I've got his 12 rules to life, the antidote to chaos. I've been reading it. I read it over Christmas holidays. I went on a cruise to fucking Airlie Beach, North Queensland. It was awesome. I smashed about 2/3 of that book, getting sunburnt. It was awesome. So the guy's a legend, Jordan Peterson. He's doing the rounds. I didn't go to his tour. I went to his first tour. I got him to sign his book. I got to shake his hand. If you scroll down this YouTube, you'll get to see that. It was awesome. And yeah, so Jordan Peterson, we have this show in Australia, Q&A. It's on SBS or I think it's ABC. It's like pretty left-wing fucking media. It's run by the Australian taxpayers, pay like a fucking $1 billion a year for this fully left-wing, completely biased fucking $1 billion worth of media for these people to have radio stations and TV channels and all this bullshit, and they just keep, promoting the progressive bullcrap. So yeah, I've already watched this, and it's actually pretty good. But Jordan Peterson, he's on a panel. Looks like fucking the odds are stacked against the guy, and it's a bit of a laugh. I'll put the link to this video beneath this and give it a watch. We'll watch a bit together. I think it goes for 30 minutes, so it probably won't fucking last that long. But this is the thing you got to understand. Jordan Peterson's a smart dude who can stand his own. He thinks about what he has to say, which is always bloody good. But you can just see how this is completely biased and stacked against them. Do you know what I mean? They kind of... Every single bloody question is put towards them. Every question. I think I watched this video. I think there's a longer version, an hour long. This one goes for about 35 minutes. In the 35 minutes, I think there was one question directed at other people on the panel. So obviously everyone in the crowd is like real keen to hear what Jordan has to say. And it's just like a dodgy thing where this dude, I think his name's Tony, he's always like, that's your minute, Jordan, that's your minute. He only gives him a minute to answer. So like how kind of dodgy is that if you ask for like a pretty meaningful question and you only get a minute to answer it? It'd be like, it's just fucking weird. So let's watch it. We'll have a crack. We might not go the full 36 minutes. See how we go. Might pause it in between and give you some of my dusty commentary.
Live from Melbourne. I'm Tony Jones, here to answer your question.
Shithole of Australia.
And military advisor turned author, Catherine McGregor.
What a sour bit.
Canadian author Jordan Peterson, whose 12 rules for life and stand against political correctness made him a philosophy rock star. Labor frontbencher Terry Butler, the federal government's special minister of state,
like a fucking goblin.
And writer, activist, and Twitter queen, Van Barrett. Please welcome our panel. Let's go straight to our very first question from Dean Troth.
My question is for Professor Peterson. Professor Peterson, your rise to global stardom appears to be based largely on, I guess, the millions of people in the West who've been disenfranchised, whose worlds have been rocked and worldviews have been cracked by global movements that they are powerless to influence. Movements like socialism, globalism, and feminism. People, particularly young men, appear to regard you and look to you as a saviour. What is it that what do you think they believe they need saving from?
Jordan Peterson, welcome to Australia.
Well, it's funny to regard me as a savior, because what I tell people consistently is that they have to look to themselves. And it's not because I believe that people are in full control of their lives. We're all subject to bad breaks and sometimes to terrible luck, but your best bet is to do what you can to take care of yourself properly, to treat yourself like you're someone responsible for helping, which is rule 2, by the way. Partly because I do believe in this ancient, fundamentally Western idea that people are of intrinsic value. I mean, look, we're all given the sovereign right to organize our own states, the responsibility to vote. Our state, our very state assumes that you have the wisdom to keep the ship of state sailing straight. And it's because there's something about you that, at least in principle, has the possibility of being remarkable if it can be manifested. And I'm reminding people that not only do we believe that, but that it seems to be true. And it isn't obvious to me that there is anyone, or there has been anyone for the last 4 or 5 decades, let's say, who's done a credible job of drawing a relationship between the meaning in life that you need to sustain you and responsibility. And not just for you, because it's not an individualistic idea. It's responsibility for you and your family
Coming up to
and your community. That'll do the trick. And your broader society.
Let me just, can I just, before we move on to the other panelists, can I just draw you to the final part of the question, because there's this fascination that many young men have for your message, and I guess he's suggesting our questioner there that's something to do with them needing saving from socialism, globalism and feminism. Is there any truth to that in your mind?
Well, there is truth to the idea that they might need a certain amount of existential rescuing from the idea that the West is fundamentally best characterized as an oppressive patriarchy, which is absolutely absurd proposition, and that as a consequence, whatever actions they might take that are forthright and ambitious in terms of participating in that system are by the very nature of the system destructive. It's very difficult for me to understand how anybody can be properly motivated if that's the fundamental view of society and male participation in it. And I don't buy any of that. I think the idea that the West is...
Anyway, I gotta go. I'll put the link in below. Cheers, eh?